Welcome to this video overview of the newest release of the free ArcGIS for AutoCAD plugin. ArcGIS for AutoCAD 350 is the 7th release of this popular plugin to AutoCAD that provides best practice interoperability between AutoCAD and the ArcGIS platform. ArcGIS for AutoCAD 350 introduces support for attribute domain constraints, improved subtype handling, and a new AutoLisp API to help you customize your ArcGIS for AutoCAD environment. I will present an overview of the existing capabilities and new features of ArcGIS for AutoCAD as I go through a disconnected editing scenario of my water system data. In this video, I will connect to my water system map service to get a view of the GIS data. I will extract vector features from the city's read-only web service to use as design constraints in my drawing. I will add some map services from ArcGIS Online as geographic and engineering references, and then make a connection to a feature service to edit my data that I will perform remotely and disconnected from the server. After I finish my edits outside of the office, I will return to the office and reconnect to my office's network, where I can synchronize my changes to the water system. I will point out some of the new features of this release along the way. I access the existing connection to my server to add a raster map service of my water system data as a georeferenced backdrop to my AutoCAD editing session. Because my drawing was blank, the coordinate system used by the map service has been applied to my drawing, which is what I wanted. Now, all data that I access and use in this drawing will be projected to a state plane coordinate system, the same coordinate system as my map service. So even though the street map from ArcGIS Online I add here is being published in a Web Mercator global coordinate system, it is projected on the fly to line up properly here in my state plane coordinates. I will use the ArcGIS Online World Locator service to navigate to my project area by street intersection. To provide some engineering constraints for the location of my curb stop valves, I will extract a vector copy of the parcel boundaries from a read-only ArcGIS feature service hosted by the city. These become my own local copy. I am choosing not to retain a connection back to the source data. I can now use them to do my work as my own private copy of this parcel data, complete with their descriptive attributes. Going back to my ArcGIS server connection to the same place as the map service, I will make a connection to the vector feature data that I have permissions to edit. Unlike the extract function I used to copy the parcels, I will add the water system data to my project area to this drawing with the intention of making edits to the water system data and later synchronizing my changes back to the server. I now have a raster map of my water system showing the current state of the ArcGIS geodatabase as drawn by ArcGIS Server, as well as the actual vector objects with their attributes ready for me to edit in my AutoCAD drawing. New to this version of ArcGIS for AutoCAD is the Attribute dialog box now honors the coded attribute domains and range domains of feature services. I can easily pick valid values in the form of a pick list. The choices in the list were published by the author of the geodatabase and passed along to me through the feature service. In order to prepare this drawing for use while disconnected from my internal network, I will create a snapshot of the water system map so that I can see it while I'm out of the office. I will now close this drawing with the intent of continuing my work off-site. When prompted to synchronize my changes upon exit, I will say no, since I haven't even started making any changes. After closing the drawing and emailing it to myself, I open that drawing, and it contains all of the data and connection information within the single self-contained AutoCAD DWG file. When I open up the drawing here out in the field with my copy of ArcGIS for AutoCAD, my copy of the parcel boundary entities that I extracted and added from the service are still in my drawing for me to use and edit. Although they are simple AutoCAD entities, they retain their ArcGIS descriptive attributes. Although I'm not currently connected to my office's ArcGIS server, I can still work with the GIS data I have added to this drawing, just as long as ArcGIS for AutoCAD is running. I do have connectivity to the internet, so I can still access other services on the web, including Esri Street Map in this drawing. Although I do want to swap out the street map for some imagery. I also want to add some soils information to make sure I do not have any troublesome soils in my project area that might require more attention from me. When I add a map service in AutoCAD, I get more than just the pretty picture. Using the Map Identify tool, I can access the database attributes of features depicted in a map service, like the attributes of these soil polygons. The soils are fine, so I'll remove the map service. I will use the subtype filtering to start my work of adding a fire hydrant assembly. I need to add a fire hydrant assembly to the T-fittings in my drawing. The T-fittings are a subtype of fittings in the drawing. Here I can quickly locate the T-valves by selecting the T-valve subtype on the ribbon and using the Select All tool. I can then use the tool palette generated by ArcGIS for AutoCAD to assist me in the creation of new features. The function of the tool palette is primarily to help me put new features on the correct AutoCAD layer. I have customized my tool palette to place my custom block symbol rather than the default AutoCAD point entity. I can place new ArcGIS features using the palette by copying existing ones or just using plain AutoCAD to draw new entities on the correct layer. Once placed on the correct AutoCAD layer, an entity is assumed to hold descriptive attributes according to the schema defined for the feature class. The attribute schema of any domain constraints of the fields are automatically inherited from the feature service, as configured by the author of the ArcGIS data at the source. I'm just using them here in AutoCAD. One of the major benefits of this release of ArcGIS for AutoCAD is the addition of an AutoLisp API to allow me to customize the behavior of ArcGIS objects within my AutoCAD session. I can use a combination of various AutoCAD user interface and AutoCAD APIs and the new ArcGIS AutoLisp tools to automate my editing experience. Here I've created a simple AutoLisp routine using standard AutoCAD and AutoLisp that allows me to validate connectivity and then automate the placement of a water service assembly composed of several different features and populate their attributes all at once. I can then make quick work of this routine task and make my necessary changes to the data. I have been using ArcGIS for AutoCAD, so all of my changes have been saved and accounted for in the drawing itself. I am out of the office, so I'm not connected to the server, so I will not attempt to synchronize my changes now. I will do that back in the office. Another colleague of mine is checking into the work that's going on in the project area. He's using the ArcGIS.com viewer, looking at the same water system data that I've been editing. He uses the same ArcGIS Online World Geocoding service to zoom to the project site. Meanwhile, I'm opening the drawing back in the office, and I'm going to synchronize my changes. I get a report of the changes that were recorded while I performed my edits, and I confirm that these are the changes that I intend to synchronize. I then get confirmation of those changes back from the server, and I also notice the changes streaming back to me in the form of the map service view, and see that the server has already repainted the map with my changes. As I synchronize the drawing, the map service view of the data from the server is updated, and I see my new edits reflected in the maps and then the vector features. Returning to my colleague's view of the same data, when he refreshes the map after panning, he now gets a fresh view of the data coming from the server and sees my changes. Thanks for watching this overview of the latest version of ArcGIS for AutoCAD 350, available free for download in 9 languages for 32-bit and 64-bit AutoCAD versions 2013 through 2015. If you have not already downloaded your copy of ArcGIS for AutoCAD, you can do it now at esri.com.